So many Americans are consumed with just trying to survive in the economy. I don't even think they could explain to you all of the charges, but they do pay attention when a soundbite goes viral.
It's the third largest city in the U.S. You may know it as Chicago, Chi-Town, or the Windy City. It's given us great black artists, political leaders, and history makers.
Messaging is a priority, but whether Bidenomics is the phrase, whether that inspires a sense of confidence or connecting with the everyday American person, I'm not sure if that's it. Donald Trump is doing counter-programming strategically, right? He is the main character, and he wants to keep it that way. I'm a little bit confused by the play to go so hard to the right, because if you look at national polling, people are saying that the rollback on aboltion rights is going too far.
Republicans do have a message around it.
And it's to ignore it. It's to say that we are colorblind, which does not solve the problem.
But it is to say that we are undoubtedly a better and stronger nation on this front today.
We have to move past talking about this as if it is history, as if it's not happening right now. And when the Republican Party does this colorblind thing, you're gaslighting people. And they're going to react to that, and they're going to show it at the polls.
Welcome back. We're continuing our conversation with Representative Jasmine Crockett from Texas. There was a recent move by the GOP to eliminate the Civil Rights and Liberty Committee. For people who don't understand the implications of that, tell us really quickly, what does that mean, and what are your concerns about that?
This is about slavery. The South is where all of this happened.
It is what happens when you are a chameleon. Right, you are trying to blend in with whatever crowd is in front of you and say what is appeasing to them, rather than standing on your principles. We are flooded with misinformation. There are people who are intentionally using propaganda to divide us, to make sure that we don't even have a democracy. So imagine this on an international level. It evokes sort of nostalgia for an America of the past with the Kennedy name, but he has a very interesting bag of policy proposals, raising the minimum wage. He's an environmentalist. He's interested in criminal justice reform. So maybe for voters who were never going to vote for Biden or Trump, they want to throw their hat in the ring with this one.
The timing of this is perfect. I mean, it's always a good time to get our money together, but I know a lot of people in my life and our Griot audience are looking for a fresh start. But first, let's talk about your background and how you even got into this space. They say that experience is the best teacher, and you and your husband actually managed to dig out over $450,000 in debt, and a lot of that was student loans. How did you do that?
Haley is playing into a moment right now where it appeals to a certain base to deny what has happened in American history, to reject and rewrite a narrative that we have established is progress. Maybe there's a responsibility to do something. If you acknowledge that slavery was the reason that this country broke apart.
I got chills watching the Send Help trailer, because I felt like there were just so many layers to it. Obviously, it makes you laugh, but you are dealing with some real stuff. And this show is really based on certain aspects of your life. So tell us, what is the premise of the show and what inspired you to write it? What is it that you want people to know about Black men and supporting their mental health? And how do you think the show is amplifying that?
I remember being in the field reporting in 2015 when the news broke that same-sex marriage had been legalized, and it was such a monumental moment. But I also knew that that wasn't the end of it, right? That there would be attempts to undermine that ruling. We know from watching the civil rights movement play out that even after Brown versus the Board of Education, even after schools were ordered to desegregate, there were always efforts to find a way around the law. For Angel, you cannot take away the lens of race, because she is talking about her entire experience of being accused of basically being a stereotype. Remember when she says, you know, all year I've been told I'm too this, I'm too that. This is so much bigger than sports. This is about, you know, the fact that young Black girls disproportionately get punished when they're in school. There's like a culture of holding young Black people and girls in particular to a different standard.